Hello, beautifuls, and welcome to my purpley house. Today we are working with the Taurus Moon energies, and I'm eating my lunch. I got my spinach and lentils, some celery, and I also have some amazing sourdough bread with a vegan chive and garlic spread, vegan pesto, roasted red peppers. I'm also eating some tahini, roasted cabbage, some garlic, zucchini, some Castelvetrano olives. I'm in heaven, and it's the perfect time to talk about the Taurean energy. And today I want to talk about addictions because I'm an addict. And what's really important to me to impress upon people is that our addictions take so many avenues, forms, that it can be really hard to identify being an addict. So it came up for me today because I'm making my lunch and I wanted this toast to be artichoke hearts and tomatoes. So I go get my artichoke hearts. I had opened a can days ago, put them in a used kimchi jar, like plastic container, and they've gone bad. They're turned, they're sour. I can smell it. They're all mushy, like super broken down, probably by the remnant kimchi, citrusy, whatever. And I was like, oh no, my artichoke hearts are bad. They're expensive. They are not a cheap food. So I say this because this is one of my addictions. So I compulsively consume things. And with my food addiction, I have eaten rotten things in the past because it's not that I don't have food in the fridge. It's not that I don't have the ability to go buy some more artichoke hearts. It is a compulsion to consume something that feeds this like flavor profile that I'm like craving, right? It's a compulsion. So with my recovery from food addiction, I have been able to stop eating rotten food. I would even eat food off of the floor that fell down. 10-second rule, haha, such a joke. No, I would eat food that had fallen because I value it so much. I'm like, no, I don't want to let this go. I'm going to just eat it anyway. I mean, to an insane, right? That's what addictions are. They are insanity. To an insane point where I would be like wiping concrete off I mean, it's, yeah, sick. I'm sick. I'm a sick individual. In recovery, though. So I'm learning to the fact that I could take those rotten artichoke hearts and put them in my compost is an insane revelation. It is sanity, actually. It is a sane revelation. It is a place that I've been able to come to. And so it triggered this Taurean new moon that's coming up. So we have our mama moon coming into her newness, so the full blackout, on Sunday morning, like something like 1:27 a.m. Maybe it's even Saturday morning, whatever. And Taurus is the sensual sign of the zodiac. Taurus is all about what we eat, right? What we like consume, literally. So what flavors are you putting in your mouth? And is it rotten? Okay. I'm just remembering, I also had rotten corn. Corn was also rotten. My fridge is teaching me how to navigate my addiction. I don't think it's up high enough because, I had rotten corn in there. Artichoke hearts are rotten. I don't know. But anyway, it's teaching me to recognize, hey, we don't want to put rotten things into this precious vessel, into this channel for the divine. We want to put fresh, lively, alive things into this physical manifestation so that we can thrive, right? So we can live an alive life. living a live life. alive. So Taurus helps us to focus on the things that we eat, what we put into our mouths, right? It's all about the flavors and the senses. So looking at, what do you consume? What do you, not just in food, but what do you take in from your environment, from places? What do you choose to keep putting onto yourself and into yourself? So I only put natural things on myself. Now, I lived an entire life, 43 plus years of putting all toxins all over myself, all over my hair, all over my body. And now I'm consciously choosing not to. So this is something that you can set an intention for this Taurus new moon. What am I no longer going to put on or in myself? And what am I going to treat myself? What am I going to delight myself with? So I only use all natural products. That means no chemicals, no dyes, no pesticides, no, hydrogenated oils, no meat products, no animal products, nothing that comes from a living being that is not my species. Okay. I'm not going to eat a cow's baby's milk. That's for her babies. Drink. Sorry. I'm not going to consume a murdered, slaughtered chicken, cow, pig, snake, anything. No. And that has an energy. So all your food has an energy. So if it's rotten, you're literally consuming a rotten thing. So what does that do? How does that shift your energy space? Do you become rotten? Maybe a little bit. Who knows? So I want to look at these 4 pillars because I'm a holistic coach. So I love the 4 pillars. I love mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. And today I'm going to shift those and make them Taurean holistic pillars. So food, what we eat, what we hear, what we taste, and what we see. Boom, 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 boom. So I talked about food a bit. So you may know, you might be an addict. Talking about that Jeff Foxworthy thing. Like, you might be a redneck if you might be an addict if you can't stop yourself from eating something rotten because it was expensive to buy. Maybe. You might be an addict if you compulsively consume, everybody knows it, like an entire bag of chips. Like, I can't stop. Maybe don't buy that anymore. I had to. My program really helped me in that, right? You might be an addict if, I can go on and on, but just look at the things that you compulsively do without having that little pause of conscious awareness that goes, really, am I gonna really eat this rotten thing that's like slimy? I have done it. I have eaten slimy, rotten things and tried to cover it up by cooking it or something. It's an addiction. Maybe yours isn't that severe. I don't know. I'm not the judge of you. I'm not taking your inventory. You be the judge, right? We had just had the new moon in Libra. So if you were following me, you were judging yourself and recognizing what we needed to tip the scales with, what we needed to shift in a massive way so that we could come to our own sense of balance. I'm like looking at myself and looking at the thing. Where should I be looking? All right, so we got food down. What do you eat? What do you put on what do you feel, right? This sense of touch, taste, that's all connected. I'm kind of adding another one now, whatever. So what are the fabrics that you put on your skin? What are the products that you put on your skin, on your hair, on your nails? Think about this. What are the things that the energies of the items that I am consistently replacing on myself, on my vessel, on my being, on my I am this channel? And just assess, right? We're not trying to judge you. We're not trying to beat yourself up about it. We're just trying to see, is this a compulsion? Is this something that I need to do? Like, I need to buy that. Like, for me, I need to buy this, forever. I felt I needed to buy a specific type of hair mask because my hair is cray, and it would get so wild. And I would only put chemical products on it my whole life. So there's a little bit of a transition period where your hair kind of goes, what? If you're not putting on natural products. But I found that the places I was going, living in conscious community with people in New Zealand, and having their, jumping into a pond or a quarry of fresh water that's going to be the drinking water for us. I don't want to bring all my hair chemicals into that water that we're later going to drink. This is the connection that we don't really have today. We're so disconnected from our source of all the things that sustain us. So what are you actively putting into the water just because you're using this product? It doesn't disappear, people. It goes into the ground, it goes into the earth, it goes into your water supply. And that's why they have to use fucked up shit like fluoride and everything else, bleach, chlorine, to cleanse it, because we've toxified it just with what we use, the products that we use. So just assess, right? What am I putting on myself? I no longer, and there was also a shower there at Hakea, this beautiful community. And it said, they have signs up that say no chemicals products in here, please. They have natural products in there you can use. And I still had that fear of like, oh no, my hair is going to look shitty if I don't put, my brand, whatever product in there in my hair. It's going to look frizzy. Guess what? I stopped. And you know what? My hair looks amazing. There's a transition between when the hair is like, oh my God, I'm not getting the chemicals anymore. Just like all of the things that are actually drugs that we're consuming, that we're putting on our bodies, that are chemically based and that produce an adverse response. What's the adverse response? Our bodies, our skin, our gut gets addicted to having that. So there's going to be this transition period. If you are transitioning, right? If you're moving towards a more natural, whole food, whole product lifestyle, your body's going to kind of go, what? Like, oh my God. It happened to me just yesterday. I haven't done any core work in a while. And when I was on the bench doing the bug, if you know me, doing the bug, my belly was like distended yesterday. Because you know what? I worked those muscles that I haven't worked in a long time. And they're swollen because, when you lift weights, that's why you have muscles. You rip the muscle and then it repairs itself. And in that reparation process, it gets a little swollen. It gets a little beefed up, right? So just to say, like, if you also, like I did, have an addiction for over exercising, you might experience a little bit of that backlash of like, ooh, I feel a little, I've heard people say, like, I started this working out at the gym and I'm actually bigger, I'm swollen. It's like, well, yeah, you're ripping your muscles up. They're going to get swollen, but it's just the beginning phase. And then over time, you start to let them relax, let them heal, and they're not so swollen anymore. They just get more svelte. Anyway, it's not about how you look. It's about how you feel. I like to do the bug because it helps to support my spine, also helps me to be consciously aware of my breathing patterns, which helps to regulate my nervous system. You can too. The link in the description is to my website, breathewithbeth.com, where you can find my entire back pain cure program that will give you the bug. I also have the bug free on YouTube. You can do the bug every day. I recommend it highly. Okay, shifting from the food and the feeling into seeing. What are you looking at? I like to surround, the other side. I like to surround myself with beautiful things and plants and color. And, are you looking at art, or are you staring at screens all day? Are you looking at TikTok or Instagram or YouTube videos all day? Or are you actually letting yourself take in, like, stare at the sky for 10 minutes? Be out on a walk. I have to not go into the gym. Like today, I went for a run down on the trails. I can look up, I can see the trees, the hammock of the trees. It does so much for my spirit that it's so worthwhile. So what are you staring at? And we're in this age of so much technology that we stare at these screens constantly. It's so damaging for us, and we don't deserve it. So wherever you can, make those little shifts. Realize, I'm staring at my phone. Oh, let me put that down and stare at my loved one, or stare at the plant growing in my house, or stare at my pet or my child or my, anything but the fucking screen. Let's treat ourselves. Let's delight our eyes. Let's like do face yoga and eyeball yoga and just like, oh, look around. Let me, I want a little like hit of something like a drug. You can get yourself dizzy by going like, oh, like it's free, get yourself a little buzz. And we'll do buzz. Speaking of buzz, I'm going to teach you Bhramari breathwork because it's really the most beautiful example of somatically manifesting or embodying, not manifesting, embodying this concept of tuning out all the gateways of perception. So sealing off the senses and going within ourselves so that we can derive that sense of love and appreciation and gratitude and delight from within ourselves, that joy. That Taurus is about carnal pleasure, like the pleasure of the senses. Like, I taste that, that's delicious, it's not rotten. I see that, that's beautiful, that's not a screen. That is like, have I been to a museum lately? Have I stared at like Guernica? Have I stared at Chagall? Like, have I stared at these ancient, like prolific channels of divine love in a while? No, I haven't. Well, I need to do it. I'm going to go to some galleries. That's what I'm going to do to feed this Taurean energy. So what are you seeing? And then it's a beautiful concept of what do you see beyond the seeing, like beyond the thing that I actually am looking at, like, oh my God, my food is so beautiful. Like, look at it. It's so beautiful. It doesn't look that beautiful. You can't really see it, but it's arugula and lentils and red onion and celery. So what do you see beyond the thing? What's behind your eyes? That's why I love meditation. You close your eyes down, even in Shavasana. What do you see beyond even like the depths of the dark space out there in the ether? What do you see? Because that's all possible. That's all infinite possibility that's out there. So let's go there. So what do you see? And then shifting into the nadis. What are you smelling? Right? I used to work in the fragrance industry. We're smelling toxic fumes all day, essentially, is what it is. Toxic fumes. I mean, a lot of it's like, essence of, ylang ylang and patchouli and frankincense. But really in these like hyper condensed versions, and everything today is scented for the consumer pleasure. So all of the things that you're smelling that are produced, there's different fragrance profiles in different countries all around the world. Like some people like they're washed to smell fruity, and they're what is it? That was the big one. But like there's different preferences. So what are you smelling? How do you like, kind of like how you cleanse the air, like this concept of saucha from the yamas in yoga, cleanliness. What is just like, do you take yourself outside and just breathe in? Like, how you can smell ozone when it's about to rain? Like, do you actually give yourself the time to go out and go, oh, it's about to rain? Let me remind myself what rain smells like, what that hyper, atmospheric pressure feels like on my physical body. That's when your joints are going to start to hurt a little bit more. When the atmosphere is a bit more dense, there's more, is it kelvins? I think it's kelvins, like the weight, the actual physical weight of like 1 gram of water or something. I don't know. What does that feel like? Because we are like a tuning fork for the universe. Like we know what's about to happen. That's your sixth sense, your intuitive sense, your clairs. You can feel, when you have that like, ooh, I shouldn't go there. That's signs from your environment. And that's what Taurus is so good at helping us to hone in on, to realize, wow, I don't feel like going. That's where that comes from. I don't feel like being with that person. I feel like just doing this. I feel like just coloring today. that can be based on environment, right? We live in the world. We are ruled by the moon, by the planets. If you want to get a birth chart reading from me, please do. It's so illuminating and enlightening because you get to see with every moon cycle, like what is going on in the universe and how is that directly impacting me and helping to guide me and teach me. So what now we want to look at is where is Taurus in your chart? Also the opposite, where is Scorpio in your chart? And then we also just have Neptune moving into Aries. Our north node of the year is Pisces. We're moving away from Libra, the balance. So it's like, wow, lots of things to look at and to just be aware of that can help to inform how we live our best life, how we thrive. You know, am I okay in this environment that I'm in? What do I smell? Do I smell burning trash from the, the toxic dump? Do I smell dog? I love living at the dog park or I have animals in my house. Is that a soothing scent for me? Like I love sniffing my dirty ass dog, like whatever. Like the smell of our bodies. Like I just bought this deodorant the other day that's a patchouli and I think like it says like buriti or something, some fragrance, and it was like $10. This is expensive deodorant, but I love it. I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it so much. It smells so good. So I can walk around with like the scent that I choose with me. I always carry around a little vial of a scent that I love also. Watch, I'm not going to be able to find it now. No, yeah, I do. Kumba made amber and sandalwood oil. Oh my God. Oh, it's so good. So like when I would used to live in New York City and be on the subway, I would bring along a fragrance with me, like most of the times lavender, so that I can just like be calm, be relaxed. I'm in a really stressful environment. I can't really handle everything that's going on around me. So let me just like go within. There's some nasty shit that happens on subways. So recognize we can't always change our immediate environment, but we can take actions towards having, right? What do I have with me? Let me pack my little preparation kit, my little to-go bag so that I can have everything that I need with me. That's Taurus's mantra. I have. What do you have that supports you, right? I got my earbuds. These are very toxic for you, but I just have to deal with it. There's a lot of things that we all do that it's not practical for our lives, but I know that this will probably have a detrimental effect on me ultimately, and yet it's really functional for other aspects of my life. So we have to be, again, that Libra energy of like, what do I need to accept and what do I need to flip the other way? I bought not wired headphones because whenever it's possible I want to put those in instead of my wireless ones, but it's so much more convenient. Okay, what are you smelling? It might not be that obvious that it's something to pay attention to. It might be like, what am I smelling? Well, I don't know what. There's that whole take a pause moment. That's what are 5 things that you can see. I might be doing this wrong. 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can smell, 2 things that you can taste, 1 thing that you can, I did that wrong. Touch. Maybe it was 5 that you can touch. I don't know. Anyway, all the senses, right? 5 senses. It is touch and taste. That's 2, but I was trying to do 4. That's why I messed up. Okay. And then finally here, look at that. Got the headphones out. So what are we listening to? And to me, this comes in the form of people, right? Whose voice, what voices? Because we have a lot of loud voices in this world right now. And we don't have to listen to them. We have this beautiful little thing on Facebook called block, mute. You can mute a group. You can mute a whole conversation. You can mute a person. You can mute a story. You can mute anything. You can unfriend them. You can leave the group. You can block their ass. You can take a break from them. There's all these options. And that's just in one of the social medias. So what are you listening to? Are you listening to podcasts? Are you listening to YouTube people that you love? Are you listening to me? Are you listening to my yoga nidras? Every Tuesday night, I have a live stream of restorative or yoga nidra. They're beautiful connections to the astrology of the day, of that time. And it's an incredible way to let yourself just listen. You know, in recovery, we really value listening. That's the beauty of it. We have timed shares. You can only share for 3 minutes, and then shut your mouth and open up your ear holes so you can listen to what other people say, because I have gotten far more healing in listening to other people's stories than I have in listening to my own bullshit cycles that I've been repeating for 44 years. Truth. So, and it's not just voices of people, right? It's like if someone is abusive in your life, like I've had an abuser in my life who says things that hurt my feelings, that hurt my heart, that make me feel awful. So I have to choose, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. And whether that's I'm cutting you off from phone contact, I'm not allowing you to email me anymore, I'm not physically getting into proximity to you so you can talk to me. That's what I have to do. That's for me, right? No contact. Boundaries are for you. They're not for the other person. They don't require explanation. They just require me to make a choice. Oh, I'm hearing this. I do this all the time out in public, you know, go to the farmer's market, go to a, you know, conscious event. I hear people talking about a topic that I don't like. I'm not interested. I've been there, done that. Look at this. I got 2 legs. Taurus, I have 2 legs and I can walk away. I also have 2 fingers. I can just stick them in my ear holes. I'm not listening. You know, somebody says something to me. Oh, what do you think about this? I don't know. You know, I don't have to contribute. I don't have to react. I don't have to respond. I don't owe anyone else anything. I choose where I go. I choose what I hear. I don't like this. You know, there's somebody that revs their motorcycle engine at like 3 a.m. every single night. What do? I call 311 every time. Hi, I'd like to report this. Hi, can you send somebody out to do this? Because if I don't, it's never going to change. So I do what's in my power, and then I don't get upset about it. Just kidding. I do get upset. I get really upset. And then I'll write a resentment out. I resent this motorcycle engine. How dare you disturb my sleep? They're just rocking on, trying to be validated. You know, somebody listening to me. I need to rev this up. We would call that one of my high school boyfriend's father would call that a small motorcycle penis. Small. It's called a small dick truck. So what was it? Small dick motorcycle. I love it. Keep on revving. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's all the 5. Sorry, I want it to be 4 to match with the holistic pillars, but it doesn't. It's 5, so whatever. And leave it to Taurus to be like, hey, let's have it all. I want it all. I want the 4 and the 5. I want 9. Woo, magic number 9. So here's your breath work. Also, Bhramari, thanks for sticking around for this long. This will be the last part of this video. Bhramari is sealing off the gateways of perception. So all of these senses, we're sealing off the ears. Don't do it yet, but we're going to have our thumbs on the ear cartilage. We're going to have our pointer fingers on our eyelids lightly. If you want to like get crazy and see some psychedelic shit, you can push really hard. But at first, I don't recommend it, but whatever. If you're there, go for it. Don't do it yet, right? I'm just putting these on my cheeks for now. Middle fingers on your nose. So you get to seal off your scent. And then with the mouth, this is where all the action's going to happen. We're going to lightly drop the jaw. Have your teeth be kind of close to each other. And you're just going to rock the jaw back and forth. That's so funny because the top goes. You only need the bottom. And we're going to do that. You're going to hum. So you're creating your own internal sound. It's a hum. It's a buzz. It's soothing for you. Then with your eyes, what you see, not only are we going to be seeing beyond that darkness, but we're going to see up into the heavens, and we're going to create a cyclone shape with our eyes. With them open, it looks like this, but they're going to be closed. If you get dizzy, you can stop. None of this is mandatory. I'm not trying to force you. And then we're going to stop, and then we're going to do the other way. Ooh, it's already dizzy. I haven't done it in a while. Oy, oy, oy. So you can stop any part of this if you do not feel safe. You also can just watch. I can't see you. I don't even know what you're doing. If you're even doing it with me, but please do at some point, do this with me. So first, let's do the middle finger on the nose first. Thumbs in the ear holes. Pointer fingers over the eyes. Don't push them all yet because then you can't hear me, right? Drop the jaw. Deep breath in. You're just going to keep doing the cycle. In, exhale. What it's going to do is create a buzzing sound in your head. All right, let me do a timer. This is my first one of these. I don't even know if anybody's watching this. It's pretty interesting. Okay. Seal off the gateways of perception and breathe. Inhale. I don't know if you can see my eyeballs behind my eyelids, but they're going like this. One direction, not the band. You're probably not going to be able to hear me if you're actually holding your thumbs, but and then just release. Stay still and stay silent. Let your arms fall into your lap.